Here's one of the Mugos we collected on our little gathering trip. As I mentioned before, Mugos have been kind of a premium item this year. I don't know why. One of the nurserymen told me that because conditions were bad, they were slow to develop, so they didn't ship any of them. I don't know. Some of these Mugos, and you can see them over here, some of them are pretty old. They've been around for a while. But anyway, the idea is to find out how you choose these Mugo pines. These particular trees are not the run-of-the-mill Mugos you're likely to find. This nursery that I deal with does a lot of dealing with salvaged materials and stuff, and some of the trees are pretty nice. This one's that we have right here is a little bit more along the lines of what you would find if you go to a regular nursery. It's like a Monrovian. It's they said it's 5 gallon, but it's more like 3.5. Anyway, I'm going to show you what we do with this. You can see here a lot of dirt had been piled in on this. If you follow any of my writings about these trees, you realize that I have made the complaint that a lot of times these people that do Mugos for the nursery trade have a habit of putting them into containers and then throwing mud in on top of them. Anyway, a lot of that came out when I just took it out of the pot. You can also see with the roots on this, it's pretty, well, I don't know, I go so far to say it's root bound, but there's a lot of roots. We're going to clean off some more of this stuff off the top. Normally I don't like to recommend people use a root hook to do this because sometimes people get too aggressive with them. And this isn't, look at the roots, that's really nice rootage on these trees. I just want to get some of the loose stuff off the top of this so that we can start figuring out what we can do with this tree. I think you can see that the trunk is not too bad. It'll be better once we open this up a little bit. I think I mentioned to you in the other film that we're going to post that these were pumilios. There it is, Pinus Mugo pumilia, or pumilio, 3.58 gallons. So that's close to 3.5 gallons. 5 natural. Produces no flowers, slow growing, 3 to 5 foot tall, 6 to 10 feet wide. Well, I guarantee these produce flowers because I got a couple of these over here that got cones on them. So when they're grown from seed, which is what I'm assuming natural means, or either from seeds or cuttings, that the tree is not a grafted tree. And I see no evidence of a graft. So hopefully that's the case. We may open this up a little bit by removing some of the branches. See that most of what the tree is grown in appears to be pine bark mulch, which is not so bad. But you get down here farther, you can feel some pretty heavy roots. It's kind of hard to see them because when they're damp or moist, they take on the color of the soil. But here's an interesting flare that comes out here, and it's worth dealing with. Right in here, I can feel heavy roots that come back to this point. Let's see, maybe I'll scoot it out in the light a little bit more. Okay, so in my experience, I have found that a lot of these low branches, like this one, are going to go nowhere. So it's coming off. Now see how that kind of opens up the tree a lot. These things can come off. Here's the dreaded knuckle right here. We've talked about these. With time, these will I can't even talk. With time, these will disappear as far as the ugliness of them. They're typical of all pines. All pines will have knuckles. It just depends on these things, what you want to keep and what you want to leave. This branch here should probably go for many of the same reasons, because it's just too low. You want to work with the tree from basically like this point up, no lower than this point up. So a lot of this low stuff is going to go. But if I'm going to take off that one lower branch, I have to use some heavy duty stuff. Alrighty then, let's take this one off. I know some people are out there cringing, but that's the way it goes. Okay, now we're really open. See the choices I've got now. Choices that weren't there before. And see, we still got this on there. We can still utilize that. That probably still should come off. Okay, we've taken off this and we've taken off this. Let's take that off so we don't have a temptation to save it. Now see, here you have a potential knuckle that's probably will never form because it didn't form that way. These are probably secondary buds, a lot like these were. They formed around the knuckle. Branch died there. So I could take those off, or we could leave them. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. So that raggedy bark like that doesn't do the tree a whole lot of good. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know for sure. I know the torn bark here that I've got at the bottom isn't going to help. Now if we take this down to the base, we run the risk of having the trunk die right below this. And I'm hoping that that doesn't happen. So we're not going there. If you take this and this, we have that. Yeah, there's some good stuff here. We've just got to wait. Actually, what we should do is do something else that some of you are going to really freak about. We're going to do it in stages though. We're going to start with it up here. We're going to remove the center of it. That helps, which leaves us a lot of options for the top of the tree. It's very seldom that you find a Mugo pine that out of the box it looks like anything other than what this one looked like, a bush. So what we have to do is we have to develop a bonsai from it. We've got a foundation to work from, we've got a trunk, we've got some roots, we've got great foliage. This plant has some really great foliage on it. I think for the sake of because it is essentially on the inside of a curve, we can lose this one as well. And these branches, these stubs can be ginned. You're aware of that. So I'm going to cut off of that. But this is a nice form. Take us all the way up through there. I think we'll lose this one as well. This one. I'm going to lose one of these. Not sure which yet. But one of these is going to be the new apex. Still may lose this branch because the stick natches come right out in front. Yeah, in fact, we'll do that now. Okay, here's our first branch down here. Second one here. We got a back branch here. If you want to play that game, first branch, second branch, back branch, we can play that. But what we're at now is we just set up a basic framework for this tree.